Today I'm here with Skylar and we're going to talk about the cost of labor for real estate investors. I want to talk a little bit about how much things cost. This is obviously a big challenge with a lot of real estate investors, landlords, and people who are trying to do just about anything. I mean, Toronto contractors are extremely expensive. Handymen are extremely expensive. You want to do anything relatively simple, or at least I've always thought is relatively simple work, seems to be expensive. It costs an arm and a leg. And I want to talk about why that is, because people don't seem to have a solid grasp as to how much things should cost. Like even when it comes to changing a toilet, it can easily go like $800, $1,000 to change a toilet. Yeah. And it's like people don't seem to understand. It's like people think, okay, hey, yeah, there's a toilet on sale at Home Depot for like $150. Taking it over there, removing the old one. First of all, a toilet is dirty, and that's going to be some messy work. You probably need two people oftentimes to do the whole thing, right? You have to like put in new seals. There's work involved, and if you buy like a pretty decent toilet, you're looking at $400 right there. Yeah. Right. So how does it go up to $800? Pretty easily. Not even disposal fees. Haven't talked about that.
Yeah, I see a lot of bills that come in the office that are less than $1,000. And it's because contractors can get away with it when it's less than $1,000. Yeah. So they can charge $800 for a toilet. When I just saw on the Home Depot flyer, that toilet went on sale for $150. Yeah. Right. And to be totally honest, there's 2 bolts to take off a toilet. Yeah. I know it's a little bit dirty. It's a little bit disgusting. They're plumbers anyway. They're used to it. It's 2 bolts. It's not hard.
No, and this is where DIY people, should they have the right DIY skills, can really cost down on a lot of things. But the minute you need to hire somebody else, you got to ask that question. In Canada, is anybody going to get out to go change a toilet for anything less than a few $100s? Yeah. No, you're just not going to be able to find somebody.
So to me, when it comes to my properties, and especially where I live, if my toilet was to start leaking and needs replaced, I'm going to call up a plumber. He's going to quote me the $800, $1,000, and I will pay the fee. But I want a 2-year warranty, right? The toilet comes with a 2-year warranty. I want the plumber to guarantee his work for 2 years. It's only 2 bolts. It's a wax seal. Yeah. Right? There's no reason why that toilet should leak in another 2 years. Now it's worth it to me to pay the $1,000 now if you're going to guarantee it for 2 years. Right? I got that peace of mind that if something does happen, maybe in the middle of the night, I can call my plumber. Hey, you warranted this toilet. I paid you an arm and a leg up front. Now come fix the toilet.
That is a very good point. And I think that is what people should recognize that they are paying for. Real estate investors, any general consumers, if you are going to go buy a top shelf price from big box anything, right? Retail brand, Costco, you got to take advantage of the warranties, right? One of my friends bought a couch from Costco. 4.5 years later, said that the center of the couch is starting to dip a little bit, and you said it would last for 5 years. Costco went, took the couch back, gave her a brand new one, a newer model, for completely free. Right? That is a warranty.
That's a warranty. Right? Yeah. Buy from IKEA, buy from Canadian Tire. Yeah. Buy from Home Depot, right?
Yeah, Canadian Tire, you go buy the Mastercraft.
Don't tell her secrets. Don't tell her secrets. No, you don't even need a receipt. They'll put it on a gift card for you.
It's like the crazy. Exactly.
It's like, no receipt, just we only can give you a gift card though.
Yeah, exactly. That's why before I used to buy certain things from Canadian Tire only. Things like sledgehammers and crowbars, because you use those things pretty aggressively and they can break. Tooth breaks off of the crowbar, go replace it with Mastercraft, right? Yep. That's why sometimes when people hire others off of Kijiji and they're paying market rates, you can't have very high expectations of those warranties.
Yeah, warranty is a big thing, and what I see now, we don't buy new homes. And again, I'm not a big guy to buy new homes and the pre-construction stuff, but when you buy a new home, you get that Terracon warranty, that big warranty, right? It covers everything. Yeah. Appliances are covered 5 years, everything's covered.
I mean, it's messy to go through it, but yeah.
Sure, but if you do a duplex, right, and you renovate it top to bottom, do it yourself, and you have a contractor come in, if you don't hire a A+ contractor that guarantees his work and pay a little bit extra for that, once you take possession of that duplex after he's renovating it, there's no more warranty. Good luck getting them back. No. You're never getting them back. Yeah. And we see a lot now in the market where people are buying these houses, especially in Hamilton where we are, that they convert them into duplexes, have a contractor come in, spend $120, spend $150, and then something breaks, right? The vinyl cracks, right? That's usually, the floors aren't flat. So then the vinyl cracks. That's usually the first thing that I see. And it's expensive. You got to rip up that whole section of flooring. You just had a tenant move in. You spent all this money. What a stressful thing to go through after you just spent, $150 on rent plus your down payment costs.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, there's one guy told me that when it comes to the warranty that they're willing to offer, he says, if you're willing to offer 25, 30, 45-year warranty, at that point, you might as well just say lifetime warranty, because if your company is going to last that long, then you can solve all kinds of problems. And if it goes 45 years and something happens and your company's not doing well, you're probably not going to be there anyway. So whatever.
Makes a good point. Makes a good point. I'm not asking for a 25-year warranty, but give me a 5-year warranty, right? Give me something, and then it's worth its weight in gold when something does happen.
Because I wonder, because roofers do that a lot when they say, "Oh yeah, I'll put the shingles on this shingle here. This has 25-year lifetime warranty."
Yeah. So now, if we look into a roofer, though, the shingle has a warranty.
Yeah.
Their labor might not have a warranty, right? They might say that the shingle is defective because of the weather or this and that. But just because the shingle's defective,
and contact this brand's customer service.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that my work's guaranteed.
Yeah.
So sure, you get a free shingle, but how much is it for the roofer to go up and bang that shingle in?
But why is it that you think that so many things that are strictly labor are in fact really expensive? Like my buddy got quoted $6,000 to do one fence.
Yeah.
Right? And I get it. That the lumber was going to be about $2,500, right? And then about another $2,500 to do it. But it's like, that's the kind of thing that can be done in a weekend with your buddies and a couple cases of beer and some pizzas.
Yeah. So some skillful buddies, sure. But
one guy that knows what they're doing.
One guy can tell everybody else what to do. I get it. But you know what happens is that people get served and they get $2,000 a month for sitting on their ass. Right, there's a lot of perks that you get for sitting on your ass, so it makes it very hard. And especially, I think nowadays that we see in social media, we see all these people making tons of money. That everybody makes tons of money. And the worst thing is knowing, and I'm one of them, is that on Facebook, if you were to go on my Facebook page, you'd be like, Skylar invest in real estate. So the moment that I try to get a quote for something, they're thinking I have tons of money and they can, stretch me thin.
Yeah, that social media thing actually makes it really hard to bargain shop.
Yeah, and I think we talk about the cars we drive and what we drive when we pull up to houses and meet contractors and what we wear, and all that stuff. It does matter, right? When we're showing up wearing our Sunday best and our Saturday watches and if you're in the contractor's shoes, maybe you would do the same thing too, right?
Oh, absolutely. There is a balancing act though, because regardless of who you are, what you look like, what people think of you, there should be a degree of reasonableness when it comes to how things are priced. And this is why sometimes I think that the reason why contractors, handymen, people who can do physical work, and it's not just in construction. Construction's a very obvious one, but in any kind of labor, the reason why they're able to push such high prices is because we have, I think, a serious shortage of capable, competent, intelligent, and willing people to do laborious work. Canada right now has a strong, growing, educated population. Yeah. Education is good, but it's so good to the point where everybody thinks, or a lot of people think, that they are too good for any blue-collar work.
Yeah.
Right? My dad, he's a contractor. He's university educated, went through physics. Yeah. Right? He can hold a great conversation, very academic, reads a lot, and he does construction. And when he does construction, he does great work. He's able to solve a lot of problems, and he's able to, very, very academically diagnose a lot of things, right? Yeah. He's a smart guy, is all I'm saying. Right? You don't have to be university educated. It's not like university education helps you, but he's an intelligent guy, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah. But a lot of people who get to that university education, it's like there's an unwillingness to do it. Yeah. I sometimes wonder why we live in a part of the world where the people who, if you compare Western society to other parts of the world, where labor is cheap. Like, for example, here, plumbers get paid a lot of money. Yeah. Go to India, plumbers don't get paid hardly anything. Yeah. Right?
Anything in a union, right? All these unionized plumbers.
No, a lot of these guys, right? And the thing is that it's interesting when you look at it that in the Western world, people who are paid to do labor in other countries that get paid nothing come over here and they make a killing. Yeah. And this is why a lot of people come here.
That's why we lose a lot of jobs.
Exactly. And this is why also immigrants can come to the country and crush it. Yeah. It's because they have a willingness. Yeah. Yeah. And are oftentimes actually better educated, right? So they combine that. Their education isn't recognized here, so they can't go take the cushy jobs. They have to take the harder jobs, but they crush it in the blue collar work. Yeah. And because of that, it's just we don't have a population that's willing to do hard work or that type of hard work and is driving up the prices.
It's hard to find someone that wants to do the hard work, but I find the biggest problem is the consistency of the hard work, right? Find someone that can show up Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, right? No sick days. I don't believe there's no bone in my body that believes in fucking sick days. Yeah. It's the biggest thing of bullshit in the world, right? Sick days. If you're sick, you're in the hospital. Yeah. Right? Yeah. If you have a cold and cough, right? You can sit in your office, you can work in the factory, wear a mask, right? We just got through COVID-19, right? Everybody's vaccinated. So vaccinated, it's crazy. Yeah, we're not catching no sick days.
It's kind of like the gym, like no days off, right?
Well, holidays are great, right? And everybody maybe should, be allowed 4 weeks, 5 weeks holidays.
No. The fact of the matter is that people ought to take sick days, but sick days are definitely abused. right?
And that's the problem with sick days.
Yeah, that's the problem. If people were legitimately sick and not trying to skimp off work at every opportunity they can, the thing is that there is a lot of taking the jobs that are available to people for granted, and then people start to abuse whatever it is that they can.
And I think we see a lot of people, and especially contractors and people that are the blue collar nature, that there's so many other blue collar jobs that we can ride the bus from one job to the next.
Yeah.
And go to the next and go to the next. And nobody actually appreciates the job and wants to, work from the bottom to the top, right? Yeah. And we go to my story where I started at the bottom, you know what I mean? And I wanted to be here so bad, so I worked my way to the top.
Well, I mean, and that's where work ethic can really play in. But the thing is that sometimes the playing field has been made so easy for some people. Like, especially, I think, in blue collar, the fact that people can get jobs just because they show up. I once looked at the resume of this maintenance guy who applied to the company a while ago now. And he was good at a lot of work, but the first thing he said on his resume was that I always show up.
Yeah.
And that struck me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's already good.
Yeah.
And then I also reflected on this, and
you shouldn't have to say that.
The bar is that low.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to say that. You should give me the job because I'll be here Monday through Friday.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that is the minimum that you ought to do. The fact that somebody can say, well, if you hire me, I will show up, and that is already a selling point, which it is a selling point.
I know, it's crazy.
Is insane.
Crazy.
Right, and that I think reflects a problem we have here, where people showing up is an achievement.
Yeah, it's just like getting that participation sticker, right?
Yeah.
Running track and field, and I'm one to talk because in track and field I was the one getting the participation. I wasn't winning first place, okay? But no, we don't need to go home with that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe make me hustle a little bit better if I don't get that ribbon.
There's a lot of things in place in the system that is just fostering and creating these challenges that we start to see today, and these things that people have to overcome, and it's just cascading into these problems that we see today, right? So I feel like when you really consider all these things, it gives you a new perspective as to what you have to contend with when you get into these industries, right? And as real estate investors, you realize, and this is why when you find a good contractor or somebody who's in the trades and they are quite competent and can serve you well, they quickly end up becoming really too expensive, right? My dad used to talk about it. We used to work with these Albanian guys, right? They were great, right? And in Greece, it's very common to have Albanians doing all kinds of work, because Albanians would come to Greece, and then all the Albanians would do all this like really amazing work, and a lot of the Greeks would employ them. And so when they come over to Canada, they end up working with other Greeks very often as well. And these guys, they started off working for dirt cheap with us. And then they got so good at the craft, they became too expensive for us to even subcontract, right? And then now they're doing all their own work, and it's great for them, right? But we couldn't even afford to subcontract them after a while. And why? Because they got so good at the work, they would work so hard. These tilers that we trained were doing $700 a person a day, and they were hammering out bathrooms like no tomorrow, right? And why?
Because those guys, for their whole life, haven't ate well, and they've had the opportunity to learn how to eat well.
Yeah.
Right. And the same thing with us from real estate, with me in real estate, where I started from. And then I saw how to get into real estate, and I knew that I could do it. And then I saw that, I could make it.
Yeah.
Right. And I wanted to learn. Same thing with those Albanian guys. They know that they can make a life for themselves. They just had to learn how to tile really, really good. And they did it.
Hammer it out like clockwork. And that's the thing, is that sometimes people think you have to be really smart. You have to have a blueprint. You have to have like a formula. And it's like everybody's trying to work so hard here.
You just have to want it.
But they're not just willing to actually go out and just work it.
You just have to want it, and don't believe that can't is a word.
No.
Right? Can't's not a word, and if you want it, you'll be successful in whatever you want to be.
Yeah, exactly, right? So like if people wanted to, because I actually think, and it's crazy for me to say it right now, because like I've worked so long in construction, and I feel like in terms of an avenue where somebody can use to get into it, I feel that anything laborious, anything that requires you to go out and do something, there's definitely a lack of competition in it. Anything you can pick that requires you to actually go out and do something, you can probably make good money.
Yeah.
And there's probably substantial benefit to you. If you can use that to cost down your own enterprise.
I agree.
Right.
I think in the next 10 years we're gonna see a shortage in a lot of trades, like garbage men. Nobody's gonna want to be, and garbage men make good money.
Yeah.
They work early mornings, they're off, afternoons, they're off on holidays. Sure, you gotta work in the rain, but you are outside.
Yeah. $55,000 a year, they're saying. $35,000 per year for 18-hour entry-level position.
No, they should be getting paid more. Garbage men are getting fleeced. They should go on
Yeah,
strike.
glass doors. No. Are they unionized?
Yeah.
They are? Okay, yeah. According to
Yeah.
Glassdoor, though, it's saying that they're $47,000 a year.
Yeah, no, you guys got to go on strike.
Yeah, that's
You
the
guys
case.
gotta strike.
That's crazy. No, you know what? A lot of people, myself included, until just now,
Yeah,
I thought that garbage men were making bank.
I know. I should
Right.
appreciate them a little bit more.
Okay, so one of our rental properties, we had 3 units. We bought it like that, and it's a single family home. And because of that, you're not allowed to put out 3
Yeah,
garbage
yeah.
bins, right? You can only put out 1.
Yeah,
And a couple times we put out a couple of garbage bins, and we didn't have the garbage tags.
yeah,
But what I would do is I would go there sometimes in the morning. This was early on, and I would have some Cokes and some bottled water.
yeah,
And I would, as I drove by, I'm just like, hey guys, here, appreciate all the hard work.
yeah.
Do you mind if I throw in the extra bin?
Yeah.
And I did this a few weekends, and then I would start to skip. I
Yeah.
did that a few weeks, and then I would start to skip a week, but they still took the 2 garbage bins.
Yeah,
Right? And you make sure to do that long enough
yeah,
and just appreciate them.
yeah.
Because sometimes, honestly, the garbage guys, if you don't have a relationship with them, they can be very technical as to whether or not they approve to pick up your garbage.
Sure, especially when the second can's 70 pounds, 60 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh, this feels a little bit too
Yeah,
much, you know,
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
right? So you start to overload them and, you know, you start to
Yeah,
get problems,
yeah.
right? So, I mean, these are little good things to do when it comes to appreciating somebody who is working hard, working with their backs.
Especially those guys that pick up a green bin. I don't use a green bin on my house because I think it's disgusting. But those guys that pick up the green bin, all the food waste guys, you ever see those guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys, they better be getting double that or they should also be going on strike.